Hey y'all, right off the bat. You may be snowed in like me, and for me that means that the book we've been reading together, Awareness, is not here at my house. It's up at the top of some steps, and I've only managed to clear about 3, 4, 5, 6 of 30 steps. I don't know how long it's going to be before I get myself out of the snow. How much of the snow can you see? Pretty. It's beautiful, especially at night with all the lights and such. So anyway, we're going to read, oh, that's loud. We're going to read a little excerpt from Oneness together today. I just flipped randomly. I was looking for where we left off last time and I can't find it. So my original idea was to just, I used to do this with the Bible. I would just flip open to some page and know that it was what I needed to hear that day. So why not do that with Oneness? Yeah, I think that's what I read from most recently and loved the message. So it's interesting because I just got off my Maya Wisdom Circle call with Trudy Woodcock and Miguel, and I call them the tribe from all over the world. And Miguel was talking about a Carlos Castaneda book, and I'm not going to remember the name of it simply because there was a word in there, and he was just talking about on the road to, let's say, Ithaca. That wasn't it, but and just all the detours. You set out, let's say you live in Mexico City, you set out for LA, and you start walking in that direction, and then there's this distraction, that distraction, and hey, come stay with me. Let me meet all your pleasure needs, or let me meet your needs for comfort or support or whatever. I don't remember what examples he gave. And you stay for a while. And Miguel was calling them detours, and perhaps that's what the book called it. But here's a whole other perspective, and this feels really gentle and loving, as do my teacher Miguel's messages all the time. I know that he comes from an open heart, from love and light. But I thought I can hear that message and think, oh, I've taken so many detours in life. Oh, woe is me. That's me. That's self-flagellation. Self-flagellation. I haven't been on here in a while, so I'm excited, which gives me some frenetic energy sometimes. So far this year, we've been practicing relaxing together. Not that there's anything wrong with being excited. It is interesting how the energy of excitement can feel a lot like anxiety. So let's just take a moment to relax our bodies. I also started Tai Chi a few days ago. Done day 1 and day 2. I need to do day 3. And the very first one is just opening pose. It's just standing with your feet shoulder width apart. If you want to stand, I'm sitting. And putting your arms down at your sides, turning your palms in toward your thighs. Allowing your whole body to relax. And allowing your mind to clear if you're able. And just standing in that posture for a couple minutes. Let's sit in silence for just a few and see how relaxed you can get your body. And notice if you can't, and see if you can do that without self-judgment. However this goes for you. I won't tattle on my Tai Chi partner this week, but he was struggling because he felt like he wasn't keeping up pace. He thought he was supposed to mirror my movements, or maybe wasn't understanding the postures quite like I was. I'm not sure I was completely understanding them. We couldn't find the video, so we were reading the directions. It was kind of awkward. And that made it, that can make it kind of hard to do Tai Chi when you're in a lot of self-judgment. So we talked it out, worked our way out, and had a lot more fun when we came back to it. So either drop in, relax before you do or say that next thing. And if you can't, just observe that. If all you notice is a racing mind instead of a relaxed body, can you notice that without judgment? Some neutrality, self-compassion, tenderness, softness. If you want to sit in this stillness for a while, hit pause and do so. And we're going to continue reading from Oneness. I happen to be on page 232. I know at least 1 or 2 of you out there who have this book as well. Hit pause and go grab your book and read along. Or read read it later. Many will choose to punctuate their journeys with experiences that might be considered to be radical deviations. I think Miguel used the word detours, so it's probably in the Carlos Castaneda book. So many will choose to punctuate their journeys with experiences that might be considered to be radical deviations from a spiritually focused path. Such individuals should not be presumed to be off track. I wanted to say that in the call, and I appreciate Will spoke up and gave a little bit different perspective. Maybe I can't remember what words he used, but I felt the gentleness of his message, that what I teach to my clients, and I definitely try to practice with loving guidance to myself, is not to see any choice as necessarily wrong. We learn something from every choice we make. Those so-called detours might be a pathway or a portal to someplace new, and all of them are on the pathway. I believe all paths lead, if you want to consider it a mountain, and we're all climbing a mountain, or whatever analogy works in your brain, whatever imagery feels best, maybe gentlest on your psyche, your heart, your mind. I believe that all paths, we're all climbing that mountain to the same place. We may not be on the same path. We may not be moving at the same pace. Can you let that be okay? So these so-called deviations or detours, such individuals should not be presumed to be off track, but rather given the latitude to create their own perfect route to the attainment of higher wisdom. Given the latitude to create their own perfect route to the attainment of higher wisdom. If you want to call that the top of the mountain, the peak, their own route. Sounds a lot like what I just said. I love how sometimes I'll give you a thought or an analogy like the mountain, and everybody's on a path, maybe their own path, we're all headed the same spot. And then just like in Anthony DeMello's Awareness, oneness is saying the same thing. Imagine that. For some of you, that journey necessitates experiences of plummeting to the depths of humanness in order to prepare a foundation for comprehending and appreciating the heights to come. And these beings are not to be considered in any way less godlike in their core essence than those amongst you whose journeys have been less dramatic. Boy, I can't. I'm going to read every sentence twice, and I'm going to read that one again. And those beings are not to be considered in any way less godlike. On this channel, I aming as the divine in the form of and expressing as the form of Laura Lynn Danley. And whoever you are, those beings are not to be considered any less godlike in their core essence. The core of each of us is the same. The divine lives within each, whether or not we're conscious of it or apparently expressing as the appearance of, your neighbor might seem hateful. And so it might be hard to see the divine within them because maybe they're not consciously tapped in and expressing. It's interesting, as I say, in the form of and expressing as. And it's harder to imagine that our neighbor who seems to be expressing as hate could possibly be divine. Each of you has a particular focus that has been pre-selected as the highest path to your chosen destination. Each of you, and I certainly, where did I hear that in youth about predestination? I think it might have been in the Bible, and I was kind of uncomfortable with that. There was some number attached to it. It sounded like only 144,000, if that was it, we're going to make it to heaven. I don't think that's what it was saying or this is saying, but let's see. Let's read it again. Each of you has a particular focus that has been pre-selected as the highest path to your chosen destination. And each of you is diligently enacting those choices. The degree to which the repetition of these themes is necessary is the option with which most of you struggle in these times, and the obstacle all of you are destined to surmount, each in your own time. So did you hear that? The degree to which the repetition of these themes is necessary is the option, conscious or unconscious. I don't think we really have an option until we're conscious, with which most of you struggle in these times, and the obstacle all of you are destined to, good news, surmount. All of you are destined to surmount. So I'm hearing it as the amount of times that we need to repeat the same drama in our lives may be different for each of us, but we're all going to surmount it eventually, and each in our own time. The experience of oneness is not a destination toward which you strive in your journey towards self-mastery, but rather the essence of the journey itself. We may about to read this next thought I'm having, but the experience of oneness is not a destination toward which you strive in your journey towards self-mastery, though many of us strive, but rather the essence of the journey itself, which says to me, all is one. We're already the oneness. It's here, it's now. For oneness is your experience of beingness in this present moment. Version of what I just said, huh? There's my word again, my word for 2026. I love that we keep reading it. Beingness, that's my word. Thank you for reminding me. I haven't thought of it in several days. And whatever I am being today is okay. I can meet myself. I'm hearing coming and going. I can meet myself with love, light. The experience of oneness is not a destination toward which you strive in the journey toward self-mastery, but rather the essence of the journey itself. For oneness is your experience of beingness in this present moment. God, I kind of want to stop there because I keep trying to explain something that's in the words right there. Oneness is your experience of beingness. Oneness is your experience of beingness in this present moment. Period. But it's not the end of that paragraph, so I'm going to read on. And oneness is the experience to be encountered at the very next stage of your development. Oneness is every exalted plateau encountered and every stumbling block that trips you and leaves you disheartened and wallowing in the depths of despair. Can you believe that? You might not believe that today. Let that be okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, jump around. You know how it is. I love my pretty, colorful, this is the warmest room in the house. So I'm camped out here during our snowstorm. But that beautiful red and orange coverlet is from one of my trips to Mexico. Oh, delicious. Surrounded by color and warmth. What a better way to spend this snow in. Spent the first 5 days, wow, with a loved one. And thank you, loved one, for providing Gray and I some shelter on a level ground instead of down all the many snowy and frozen steps that lead to my house. So I got to dig through most of those. All right. Wow, it's both. Wow, it's both, I wrote in the margin. So we're going to read that again. Are you ready? Oneness is every exalted plateau encountered and every stumbling block that trips you and leaves you disheartened and wallowing in the depths of despair. Oneness is the full gamut of your journey into humanness. Oneness is the full gamut of your journey of the divine into humanness. For this experience is what you have come into form to have. Boy, I could stop after each of these statements and just let us ponder it. I'm going to read that one again and sit with it for a minute. And then I think there's one more paragraph I want to read. I'm going to stop at 20 minutes today. Read that whole paragraph. The experience of oneness is not a destination toward which you strive in your journey toward self-mastery, but rather the essence of the journey itself. For oneness is your experience of beingness in this present moment. And oneness is the experience to be encountered at the very next stage of your development. It's in this present moment, and it's in the next moment, and the next moment, and the next moment. Now that's good news. I didn't land last time I read through it. That's why we're doing this again and again today. That's good news. How many of us still worry about the future? I don't know if I'm getting it right today, let alone am I going to get it right tomorrow. In fact, most of us may doubt that. At least I did up until now. That's shifting for me. And this is a good reminder that oneness is the experience to be encountered at the very next stage, and the next stage, and the next stage. Oneness is every exalted plateau encountered. We know what those feel like. And every stumbling block that trips you and leaves you disheartened and wallowing in the depths of despair. Can't imagine that's oneness. That doesn't feel like oneness, does it? What is that saying to us? Sit with it. And every stumbling block that plummets you, leaves you disheartened and in despair. Even those moments are moments of oneness, huh? That is good news too. Oneness is the full gamut. I tell my clients, we're wired for the full spectrum of human emotion. What makes us think we're only supposed to experience happiness, joy? What makes us think we're not supposed to experience fear, anxiety, sadness? My therapist used to say, have fun with it, have a good cry. And I'm like, what is he talking about? Oneness is the full gamut of your journey into humanness. So it's not just elevated states of, I spend time in other dimensions. I'm a multidimensional being, as are you. And maybe not always conscious of it. I'm not always conscious of it, but somehow I know that's true. But I always wondered why, like maybe a past roommate, not recently, used to talk about wanting to see the fairies more. Or she was maybe distressed when she couldn't see into other dimensions, or wasn't having prophetic dreams, or I'm not sure what all she was struggling with, but it felt like she really wanted to be out of the 3D as much as possible. And I couldn't understand why I didn't want that more. And something in me was like, I think my soul chose to be human right now. So why don't I want to be in the 3D? Why do I want to experience the beauty that's all around me in 3D? It's not just in other dimensions like we sometimes think. All right, I'm going to read this last paragraph because I promised to stop at 20 minutes. So oneness is the full gamut of your journey into humanness, for this experience is what you've come here into form to have. Be not so quick to judge yourself or others who stumble beside you on your sacred journey, on their sacred journey. It is naive to assume that a simple obstacle-free path is a symptom of spiritual advancement. Oh, thank you. Oftentimes, a more challenging route has been chosen purposefully as a means of providing the rich depths of understanding that would not be possible through a life script that merely skimmed the surface of the human condition. Yummy, 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 yummy. I love you. Thanks for joining me today. If you're new to the channel, stick around and continue to join us for the ride and sometimes the read. I like reading to us. We teach mantras, and we just bring the light into the darkness, and we greet all states of being. We greet even hate with love, with light. I love you. Subscribe to the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, where you're from, and what you'd like to hear more of. And reach out to me personally. I'm going to start offering some sound healing sessions soon and working with some of the other tools you see on this channel. So I amming as LLD. See you again soon. Bye for now.